Hello, Augies worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ham Radio Answers. Today we do reviews of 4 items: Mike Erskine's drop-in case for the popular QRP Labs QCX radio, a cool 12-volt 12-amp-hour battery from Bioenno Power, sturdy antenna guy rope from Mastrant of the Czech Republic, and some walkie-talkies, actually the X6 handy talkies from Zastone. I think you'll find all of them very interesting. First up is Mike Erskine's drop-in case for the QCX radio. This radio has proved tremendously popular, so much so that Hans Summers, the QRP Labs proprietor, has had to move kit production from Japan to Turkey. I met him at Dayton and discussed his supply chain problems with him. He'd been using 2 part-time women from Japan, but what time they had to devote to his project was not enough to keep up with demand. Now he employs a fellow in Turkey who does this full-time. While the radio has earned outstanding reviews from all who've successfully built it and used it on the air, the rig is anti-case. The 2 knobs are not at the same level. There are push buttons way down here, and it has a built-in key. Mike Mastrant thought through these problems carefully and came up with a 3D printed 2-part case into which you can drop the QCX. It even preserves the built-in key functionality. His printer is a Monoprice Maker Select 3D V2, and he recently acquired a second printer to keep up with demand. You hold the top piece upside down, drop in the radio, then put on the bottom piece. Rather than the 2 case halves snapping together, Mike thought it more secure to hold the 2 halves together with tie wraps. That way, it won't come apart in your go bag or backpack. Now the radio is truly ready for portable operations. You can contact Mike at the email address shown below, 3r5k1n3@gmail.com. The cost is $20 plus $5 shipping and handling, quite a bargain. Plus, if you want your call sign on the top, that's another $5. I made my call sign stand out more with a simple Sharpie. Note these prices are current as of June 2018, so email Mike for the latest information. Note as an aside that QRP Labs itself has come out with its own drop-in case made in Germany, but it's close to double the price of Mike's 3D printed case, plus it has no provision for the built-in internal key. I really like Mike's case. Very nice job, Mike. Now, let's look at a battery. This Duracell Ultra Model 128F2 is an old mainstay battery I use for my bench power. It's 12 volts nominal, 8 amp hours, and is an absorbed glass mat, or AGM, lead-acid battery. It has served me for a few years, and I expect it will continue to do so. It weighs in at a non-trivial 5 pounds, or 1.6 amp hours per pound. Okay, here's something very different. A Bioenno Power lithium iron phosphate battery model BLF1212AS that I picked up at Dayton from hamsource.com. It has a new battery technology. It provides 12 amp hours at 12 volts nominal, actually closer to 13 volts during operation. It weighs in at 3 pounds and 12 ounces. In terms of capacity, that's 3.8 amp hours per pound, more than twice as much capacity per unit weight. It's cool. I did an experiment with the battery. With portable operation in mind, I plugged in this little LED light designed to take 12 volts at 120 milliamps. Then I just left it on. I noted that the battery tends to run in the low 13 volt range while discharging, a volt higher than the discharging lead-acid cell. I kept wondering if it would ever slow down, but it took 4+ days of 24-hour operation to bring the voltage down to 12.5 volts. At that point, I thought it wise to terminate. The lamp takes about 120 milliamps, so we're talking 96 hours at 120 milliamps on average for 11.52 amp hours consumed out of a 12 amp hour battery. Not bad at all. Note that's 96 straight hours of operating. In real operations, such as high country backpacking, you wouldn't use the light that much. This is a very interesting new battery technology and will at some point push lead acid aside in favor of lithium iron phosphate, or perhaps even newer, something even newer will come out. And the electrolyte is safer than pure lithium batteries too. You can get the battery from hamsource.com or from bioennopower.com. Next up is something rather different, guy rope from Mastrant. It may seem hard to fathom, given the incredible loads on tower guy wires, that those can be replaced with less expensive but equally effective plastic guy rope. Mastrant is one such source, and I met them at Dayton. The array of guy ropes they manufacture is mind-boggling, from simple UV-resistant ropes for holding up your backyard dipole, or this monster P14 14-millimeter rope with braking strength of 31 kilonewtons or over 7,000 pounds of braking force. That's a strong rope. Although I would point out that the working strength, meaning the strength beyond which it should not be tensioned, is, in this case, 2120 pounds. Still, that's over a ton. You could pick up a small car with this. This rope, their thickest, can be had at about $1 a foot, although there is quantity discounts for longer lengths and multiples of 330 feet. All the ropes can be purchased with hardware to create end pieces which allow connection to a metal tower or to other ropes. All of the ropes consist of an outer UV-resistant layer plus an inner strength core. Their catalog warns that for larger installations, such as towers, you should use regular steel wire rope up a ways from the ground to keep the vermin and humans from tampering with the rope. This caution wouldn't apply in the case of a simple dipole, but would in the event you're putting up a tower. Note one other advantage of these guy ropes. They are electrically inert and will not affect the signal being transmitted. If you use wire rope for guys, you may need to put in insulators at various spacings along the guys to keep them from resonating. Charts for this are in the ARRL antenna book. Mastrant sells 3 series of polyester rope, P, R, and M, and this chart shows the applications for each type and size of rope, from stringing a dipole to guying a tower. These are P-series ropes. Here's an example of an R-series, and here's an M-series rope. There are differences in strength per millimeter thickness and stretch. Mastrant also sells what they call jewelry for your tower, consisting of hardware to create loops at the end of each rope and attached to the tower itself. You can also purchase classic stainless steel guy wire and associated attachments, plus climbing safety equipment. See them at www.mastrant.com. Mastrant is made in the Czech Republic and Europe. Next, we come to the Zastone X6 walkie-talkies, which are inexpensive handy talkies in the range of $20 each. In the box, we find a drop-in charger, a USB power supply, the charging cable that can double as a feed to the drop-in charger, the radio itself, plus it comes with a belt clip made of very flexible plastic. The radio operates FM from 400 to 470 megahertz, a very wide range. These are problematic devices if used on the family radio service frequencies, as they put out too much power. GMRS is okay, but requires a license. Operation on other frequencies is problematic and likely illegal. However, they operate on the ham bands just fine. They're dinky little FM handheld radios with minimal controls. There's only volume, channel up-down for just 16 channels, and push to talk. I might point out that on one of the 2 radios sent for test, the up channel button makes only intermittent contact. The radios have no provisions for programming from the non-existent front panel. In fact, channel changes are announced by voice. Do you see this little USB port? That's only for charging. That they do charge on USB is convenient, as you can charge them in the car prior to use. Note that you can use their drop-in charger if that's more convenient for you, or you can skip it and insert the USB right into the radio. Each radio comes with a rudimentary belt clip. I'm not sure I trust it. I'm going to keep my radio in a pocket. It's really tiny. Here you can see the radio next to a pack of cards. To test range, I hopped in the truck and headed up the hill while my wife kept the other radio on our front porch. We found that the radio has excellent local range, excellent audio quality, and can go up to somewhat over a mile before it gets too scratchy to use. To program these radios, you'll need a Kenwood-style programming cable, which is not included. This same cable will program Osheng and Baofeng radios. Fortunately, I have such a cable that works with Windows 10. Chirp is a good piece of software for this job, and the programming is simplicity itself because there are very few options. Unlike on 2 meters, 70 centimeter simplex frequencies vary from area to area. So I found Colorado's frequencies on the web, which you can see inside the green box. I programmed the first 16 into one radio, then cloned them to the other. Now these are ham radios and require at least a technician license to operate. You cannot get a more basic radio than this one. So there you have it. We looked at a drop-in case for the popular QCX QRP CW radio, then a battery that uses the new lithium iron phosphate. We looked at Mastrant guy ropes and finished with a test of the Zastone X6's range. In channel news, please check out dcasler.com/support for ways to keep this channel viewer supported, and dcasler.com/upcoming videos for what's in the queue. Be sure to subscribe, as this helps YouTube know to recommend this video to others. So until we next meet, 73.